Hi everyone, I've been playing around with something a little bit different. I've been making these paper tassels and I just love them. I just think they're really fun. So I'm going to show you how I made them. They're all made with paper. This is the paper that Gareth sent me in Happy Mail, that's sort of like the leather type paper. That was what gave me the idea in the first place. This one here is just done with some glittered cardstock paper. This is sort of like a marble tie-dye effect paper, and then these are just regular pretty cardstock. And then I've got a mixture of different types of beads. This one here is a slightly smaller one. This one actually measures 2.5, well, the tassel is 2.5 inches, and I've used handmade lampwork beads here. These are artisan lampwork beads from my stash. I think that's gorgeous. These ones here are just mass-produced polymer clay beads and a pearl at the end, a Swarovski pearl. This one here is some kind of crystal bead. I'm not sure what that's actually made of, but it's faceted with just a pearl on the end, and then they're decorated with various trims. This is just some lace from my stash. This is some of the trim that I got from the ethnic store locally. Just some shiny silver lace here, and this was made but from a bunch of the flowers that I got from the scrap store. I took them apart, took them off this plastic vine thing, and added some pearls to the centre. So you can really go to town with this. So I'm going to put these to one side and show you how to make them. What you're going to need is some cardstock that's about 250 grams in weight. This is a paper pack that I had from Tiger store here in the UK. This was either £1 or £2, I can't remember. Now this measures 8.5 inches, and I've cut it to 3 inches in depth, and then I've drawn a line 1 centimetre in. And what you're going to do is cut some lines about 3 or 4 millimeters. You don't want it any more than that. I'm just eyeballing this. I'm not being exact, but this was the first one I did, and the strips here measure about 6 or 7 millimeters, and that was just the strips were too thick because it just didn't roll very evenly. So about 3 millimeters is perfect, ideal. And if you're just slightly shy of that line or go very slightly over, don't worry about it, it's fine. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, just there or thereabouts. You see there, the previous one just went slightly over. So I'm going to do this all the way to the end, and then I'll come back. Right, I'm about 1 inch from the end, and I've stopped because what I'm going to do is cut this end piece off like that. And then I've got a toothpick, and I'm just going to roll this little end inch around the toothpick and try and get it nice and snug, and roll it to where the fringe starts, concentrating on keeping it straight at the tip like that. And then I'm going to take the toothpick out, and I'm trying to roll it just ever so slightly tighter then with my fingers like so. Then I'm going to grab some glossy accents, and I'm going to just secure that with a dab of glue. There we go, like that. And then I'm going to hold it in place just for a minute or two with a clothes peg, just until that's set. There we go, like that. Now I've got a piece of wire that's about 5 inches. I think this one's slightly longer, but about 5 inches is fine. This is 20 gauge silver plated craft wire. Mine's on a big reel from my jewellery making days, but any craft wire, if yours is slightly thinner, it's fine. And I'm grabbing my round nose pliers, and I'm just going to twizzle this round. And this is going to act as a little stopper to stop my beads, stop my wire sort of coming through the end. You'll see in a second. So there we go. That's what that looks like. I've got two wraps. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my tassel, which should be, yeah, that glue's nice and secure, and I'm just going to thread that through. And it's easier to glue it in place first. and then thread your wire through at this stage afterwards, you see, and that's sort of keeping this wire from poking through. There are some videos out there that don't do this, but the trouble is then your wire would just wouldn't hold in place. So then what we're going to do is we're going to come in with more glossy accents, and we are going to sort of add a little bit of glue, and we're just going to carry on rolling. And as I say, you want this nice and snug as you can get it, and keeping it straight to that top edge, because otherwise you'll end up with a wonky tassel, and of course you don't want that. So it's a bit tricky to start off with, but then as your tassel becomes established, it gets easier. So I'm going to continue doing this until I get to the end. Right, and when you're at the end, just make sure that you've got plenty of glue, taking it right to the edge, and then you're going to hold that in place. Get rid of the excess. Where's my tissue? There we go. And then hold it in place again with your clothes peg. Keeping hold of this wire, you don't want that falling off, because it's difficult to thread through. It's not impossible, but it is difficult to thread through. So it might be worth just putting a clothes peg on the end of that whilst you're doing this, just so that you don't end up losing that piece of wire. Right, so I'm going to leave that for a minute until that's set, and then we'll thread our beads. So that's had a minute to set, and that's nice and secure. And then I've just chosen some complementary glass beads that match the pattern on my tassel. This bead here probably measures, let's have a look, I don't know, 12 to 14 millimeters, I would say, and this Swarovski bead probably measures 8 millimeters. You can add some glue on there to hold that bead in place if you want to, but I don't really think that's necessary. Then I'm coming in with my round nose pliers again, and I'm leaving about a 3 millimeter gap, and I'm going to form a right angle. Then I'm going to put my round nose pliers in again, and I'm going to wrap over the top like this. Then I'm going to bend that ever so slightly, and then form a wrapped loop. So I'm wrapping over like that. There we go. That's what it looks like. Just want to bend that ever so slightly. There we go. And then I'm just going to wrap this over 2 or 3 times, depending on how much space you've got. There we go. And that just forms a really nice snug attachment, so that nothing is going to fall off. Whoops daisy, that's just gone pinging everywhere. And then just squeeze it nice and tightly to get rid of sort of, you know, those ends. And then you can just fiddle around with it until it's nice and straight. I'm just a bit particular. This is not very easy to do when you're doing it on camera. There we go, and you see that's nice and straight. And because I did it off to a right angle rather than a D shape, I've got a nice round loop. There we go. Now we're going to add some lace. I've got some white lace here that I think might look quite nice. And so I'm coming back out with my glossy accents. Let me just move those tools out of the way because we don't need those anymore. And I'm going to start at the join. I'm just going to add a little bit of glossy accents here. And you want your lace to go right to the top of your paper. There we go. Pull it nice and snug, and then just secure it in place with your glossy accents. There we go. Add some more glossy accents here. You could use tacky glue, that would be absolutely fine. Glossy accents dries clear and dries quite quickly. You don't want to use a glue gun for this though, because the glue is yellow, and I just think that just looks a bit yucky. It's not very neat. There we go, I've trimmed that, and now I'm just going to add some more glossy accents to the end of my lace and secure that in place. And again, I'm just going to hold it for a couple of seconds with my clothes peg, just to make sure that that's nice and secure. That seems dry now, and you can barely even see it. It's just really nicely finished. Then I've got a jump ring. This I think is an 8 millimeter jump ring, and it's a nice strong one, and I've just opened it out. Now let me just do that again. So I'm opening it out sideways like that. Can you see? Don't ever pull it outwards like that, because you'll never get, it will never form a round shape again. Then I've got a small lobster clasp, and I'm threading that on. Then I'm going to thread it through my loop on my tassel, and then I'm going to bend it back in place. You can use another pair of pliers to do this. I like to use my fingers because I can just feel it better. And there we go, that's it, that's finished, and I just think that is really pretty. So that is now ready to hang onto a journal. You could even use, instead of using wire, you could use string and tie a knot in the bottom of the string, and the knot could sort of form your stopper so that it doesn't come pulling out, and then you can hang it on something. But I just think those are so pretty. And then if you wanted to, you could always add some pearls to go around the lace, or some flowers like I have done. I've used a different type of trim on this one here. This is the one where I've used the flowers from that bag that I had from the scrap store. I've used glittery trim on this one here. They're all different, so raid your stash and see what you can find. So I shall leave some close-ups for you, but I hope you like that. I just thought it was nice to just do something different for a change, and use up some of my beads. So if you like that, I'd really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up. It just lets YouTube know that you like what I'm doing, and of course let me know what you think in the comments below. Which one do you like best as well? Do you like the little dinky one, which is 2.5 inches, or do you like the slightly bigger one, which is 3 inches? Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.